Mr. Jayden, good to see you, my friend.
Hello, hello.
You're a hell of an entrepreneur. We've known each other for now 2020. Can you tell me, can you describe your experience? Because a lot of people think I scam with my business, man. How did
Not
you
that.
find, how did you find, thank you. I'm glad you're telling people the truth. How did you find me? What happened? What was it? Like I went to your house and I met you and your dad, very lovely people, but what was your experience?
Yeah, I had never built a PC and I was not super familiar with electronics, so you kind of took me through everything that I needed to learn and helped me with building it. I know normally when you offer your building service, you're doing it just kind of out of your own house and you're just doing it, but you were kind enough to help teach me at the same time. And that
That's how
was
that happened.
very, very helpful.
Do you remember what year that was?
Uh,
Your best guess?
2020, I want to say maybe 21. Maybe
So it's
19.
been
I don't
4
even
years.
know.
Yeah.
I'd have to kind of go back into like my Google Photos and find photos of the PC from back then.
We did. I do remember having some RAM issues, which was a bummer, but I believe it was because we used four sticks instead of two, or something was like up.
Yeah, something was weird with that, and we were able to get it booted. I forget what it was. I thought it was even as simple as it just being not seated properly, and then it was good from there.
You're right. Now that I remember, yep.
I
And
think
then
we
you
just kind of smacked it. Success.
did what was your impression? Because again, like people hesitate with my service, and now that I'm actually doing TikToks, people are like, "Hey, I'll give you a box of Legos to build my computer. I'll give. Can I trade your computer? Can you trade me your computer for this toy that I have from the '80s?" I'm like, ah, man, okay, I gotta make another video about that, explaining my services. But what
Yeah.
was it like?
I would say it was fantastic.
Yeah, it
Fantastic
is.
value. I mean, like everything's by donation. I always was at like 15-20% was of whatever the service was. Like if it was building a computer, I'd try and donate 15-20% of that. Because honestly, you're providing a fantastic service. You're super knowledgeable. If there were any issues, I knew you'd be able to handle them. Um, and you're super like prompt and responsive on Messenger and things like that, which is super helpful. I mean, I've given you a bunch of stuff to sell over the years too,
Tell me about it. You've
just
made
because it's
Christmas.
like, yeah, something I don't need anymore, the old text going out or whatever. So I'm like, here, I know you're gonna get it sold, and I know you're gonna know all the specs and all the questions about it. You're gonna know what it's worth. And you do this so often that you're gonna have a better presence on marketplace as well, or anywhere that you post them, really. Than I will because I don't sell stuff that often. Shockingly, I don't think most people do.
Thank you. Well, I
Yeah,
appreciate the compliment. This is not an ad for myself. It's just for people
no.
to know
Well, no, it's
what's
I'm not
going
trying
on.
to make it mad for you, honestly.
Yeah,
Not that
very
I
eloquent.
wouldn't, but
Very eloquent. He's
yeah.
definitely Jaden has made a hell of an impact on me. I'd say one of my top five, top 10 clients. I'd say very friendly, very grounded, and I wish we had more wholesome people. Like it's just and people that don't, of course, my friend, that don't take advantage of you. One of my pet peeves with doing this by donation, and probably the only one, is when people say they're going to pay you and they don't, and then the day comes and then nothing happens and you don't hear from them. I'd rather you don't tell me don't. Please, just no expectations. I'm tired of having expectations in my life. Just say I got no money.
Yeah.
You got it. I'll take a free hard drive. I'll take the AirPods. You know what I mean? Like it's fine. Or just give me nothing. Instead of like postponing the but maybe, and then nothing happens.
Right. And it sucks as well. I mean, like I used to work logistics for a while, and it's that following up. It's the constant following up that drives you insane. Like I remember one client that we had, they didn't want to go through with the deal, but they didn't want to tell us they didn't want to go through with the deal. So they would make up these like random excuses for why they weren't getting things done. And it was simple stuff. So insurance was the main one that we wanted. We wanted their bloody insurance so we could deliver the car. I think every night I was working the night shift every night for a solid 2 months. I had to call him 3 times a night for him to answer, and then he'd make some sort of excuse and be like, "No, I got it tomorrow, bro. I promise." I'm like, "No, you don't."
I'm curious to know about is that genetics? Like the seizure itself? Like
I'd love to know.
like where did that come from? Was it completely random? Have you had any before? What's that story about?
I wish I knew. I really do. Canadian healthcare is being about as useful as it always is, so I'll know when a neurologist decides that I'm ready for an appointment.
Okay.
It's getting EEG. Until then, they brought me to the emerge room, made sure my spine wasn't broken, and then washed my hands, which hurt like son of a bitch. and
imagine.
sent me on my way. They're like, oh yeah,
Oh
let's just
man.
rub some alcohol in there. I'm like, oh, this is so much fun.
But is this a what's the term? Not nature versus nurture, but is it genetic? Like, has anybody in your family experienced this, or it
No,
was just your first case of out of
first
nowhere?
first seizure. We've got plenty of health issues, but
Sure.
seizures are new.
Interesting.
Yeah,
I wonder why that's the case. Sorry to hear, my friend. And it caught you off guard, and it just feels like a PC reboot in the brain.
pretty much. It was riding along. Like I was just doing some road biking. I've been trying to get more active in the last few months here. So I was going around for a road bike and I was on my way home, and yeah. Then I woke up and I was like, huh?
Wow.
I guess it's tomorrow. It was the funniest thing. I was trying to remember what happened with one of my buddies because I had plans to go out to dinner with them that night.
Sure.
And I thought it was the next day, waking up and all. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, I wonder how dinner went. And then I realized that I couldn't stand up. And I was like, why can't I stand up? And I was like, oh, right. There's some stranger who has like his hand. This was like an off duty fireman who found me. He had his hand on the back of my neck and he's pushing my face into the ground so that I did
Pushing your
not,
face.
because I kept
Okay.
trying to stand up and they weren't sure if I had any spinal damage. So if I did that, I could have
Ah,
moved something around and paralyzed myself. um,
holy crap.
so I'm thanking him for that. I do wish he had maybe like held his hand just over my neck so I couldn't actually move it, but he really did push my face in. Like I'm still bruised.
And
Yeah,
then,
I realized this was different.
does the seizure itself hurt? Is there pain?
Well, I was sore like I had been at the gym or something when I woke up. Like it felt like I all my muscles had been contracting rapidly.
Hmm.
Um, but I mean, besides again the back of the hands and the face, which all hit the ground pretty hard, I was fine. Um, Lesson to everybody: wear your fucking helmet if you're ever on a bike, because you don't know what's going to happen. Um, Everything could be going perfectly fine. You could have all the skill in the world. Someone could T-bone you. You could have a seizure. It doesn't matter where that damn helmet.
Holy crap. That's spooky, my friend. Well, I'm glad you're safe and okay, and yeah, I get it. The only thing I can relate to is my father because he suffered from a stroke, and that was the first time I see him seizure, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And then it happened multiple times after a stroke. Like he was this was like 12 years ago, but he came. They put him in rehab and GF Strong on Oak and 45th or whatever, which is rehab center there, and he would just have constant of them. It was just like a constant thing, and I don't know what the difference between epilepsy and seizure is. Would you know by any chance?
I mean a little bit. Seizure is the shaking around itself. Epilepsy is if your seizures are caused by different things. So epilepsy is more specifically if your seizure is caused by like flashing lights or fast moving objects going in front of
Oh,
your
really?
face, things like that. That's more epileptic. You
Got
can
it.
be epileptic and then have seizures as a result of that. But you can also have seizures that are triggered by stress or by a heart condition or by 16 different other things that aren't epilepsy.
I see. Yeah. Okay. Could have been an issue, a reason for it, but it's spooky. Yeah, you don't know, and all you do is you just wait for it. There's no other like cure for it. There's nothing you can do about it.
Pretty much, yeah. And they need the EEG to fully determine like if it even was a seizure, if I'm gonna need medication, things like that. Like those are also questions. And in the meantime, there's a lot of restrictions on what I can and can't do. I mean, naturally, I'm not saying it's necessarily a bad thing because you want to not have someone who could have a seizure just go get on the road and um, end up like seizing behind a wheel or something like that. But
Mhm.
it's a problem because you can't drive, you can't bike, I can't swim, I can't take a bath. Showers only because I could
Wow.
drown in the bathtub.
I see. Because you're not even conscious enough that like even though
Yeah,
you're underwater, you're
no,
still out of it.
you're unconscious. If you're unconscious for 5 minutes, then that would be enough. That would be enough. Um,
Spooky. Hmm.
yeah, and like they don't want you doing lots of things. I went on a hike on Sunday. Probably shouldn't have. We're standing at the top. I'm with one of my friends, and we're standing up there, and we're like, he goes, "Don't have a seizure." I'm like, I don't think I can control that, dude.
That's
We're
another
looking
thing.
out over the cliff. I'm like, but if I did, I think that's it.
That's it. That's another thing. It's not up to you, right? It's just random, right?
Yeah,
Hmm. Oh boy.
yeah.
Well, cool that you still push through the mindset and you're like, yeah, we'll see what happens. But I wouldn't take those risks. Like I would actually follow instructions.
I don't take any risk that's going to put anyone else in danger. That's the biggest thing. Like I don't ride
Sure.
my bike because I'm not going to go on a roadway where I could like force a car to swerve out of the way because of the seizure, and that could cause an accident. That could like put somebody else in danger. So I'm not
Correct.
going to try that. Um, would I
Calculated
have a
risks.
bath if I really wanted to? Yeah, probably. Like I'm
I
not,
get
not
it.
gonna lie, the rules I'll follow are basically if I'm just putting me at risk, such as life, like I'm willing to accept a certain degree of that, but I'm not gonna do that for anyone else because it's they need to make that choice, not me.
Question for you, brother. Are you still in Whistler? Because that house behind you, I don't recognize it.
No, this is the front room of the house that you were in. This is back in White Rock.
I remember. Okay, big door, go right in. Huge dining room,
Yeah, this is on
bigger
the
table
left before the dining room.
on the left. Isn't the stairs up to your room?
It's before that, yeah.
Oh, even before that. Oh, okay, got it.
Yeah, I moved the whole office setup down here because my mom's just in Whistler now, so I can kind of keep it more to myself. And I've got
Sure.
all my camera equipment and everything on a tray off to the side there if I'm able to angle
I don't
this
know if
thing.
it's the camera that's blurry or you have the blurry effect from
Oh, I
Google.
think I might have.
But I get
Google,
the
what are you
gist.
doing to me? Yeah, got all
No
the
problem.
camera equipment and everything in here now. So yeah, it's all set up.
And what are you up to in life nowadays then? Because last time that we spoke, we met. Did you come to my neighbor's house to have a conversation there? Was it? I have a feeling. I think I was cat sitting.
You cat sitting? There were cats. No, I think
Yeah,
that was still in your apartment. I think that was your apartment.
because you haven't seen this new place. No, we
No, I
moved in.
haven't. I haven't because you were just moving out of that place that I saw you in last time.
Oh, okay. So no, I haven't seen you since last June. Then it's almost
Yeah,
what?
something like that. Something like that, yeah.
Because I moved to under SFU in July for about 4 months, and then we got the co-op, which is here. So we used to pay like $2,100 a month there, and then the co-op calls us, be like, "Hey, you've been waiting for like 8 years. Do you want a place, a two-bedroom?" Yes, for $1,200. No
Oh,
shit.
hell yeah.
So it's the number one lottery. It's one of the only good things that are actually going for me. Because holy shit, what a 2024 was my hardest year of my life, but that one was like a definitely we needed that. Holy shit. Especially in the other place because we had a neighbor that was so fucking annoying, man. Playing metal music, Slipknot to like 4 a.m. And I'm like, hello? Nothing. He doesn't. He
Right.
won't he didn't care. But this, like from moving from there to here, and then I went to Colombia, which was like the first time in 10 years for the
Oh,
people that don't
nice.
know, I'm actually Colombian, even though I don't look like it. And so it was really nice to experience, to see family, and what a perspective change, man. I needed to see that. I need to see, like, sometimes we complain too much about our shit, and then you put yourself in other shoes and see that they have nothing, and they have a football made out of toilet paper, and from here to here's the goalie, and from here to here's their goalie, and they live 10 out of 10 lives. Happy, no money, no comparison, no social media, just present. And then when it comes to like every potluck, everybody around the city knows each other. Oh, you bring a little bit of soup. This guy brings a little bit of meat. This guy brings a little soup or salad, and we just have a 10 out of 10 time, whether we know each other or not. Like, why can't Canada be more like that instead of being less reserved and mind your own damn business? You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
culture, I
no,
guess, right?
you're right. Yeah, I was actually talking about that with one of my friends the other day because he lives in Queensboro, and he talks a lot about how they're one of the more one of the less affluent communities in the Lower Mainland, and they end up having a lot more of a sense of community compared to some of the other areas. They've got a lot more immigrants, a lot more people who are used to the way of life that you described,
Yep.
and they're just like more happy to chill and hang out with everybody else on their block. Like every you're outside, you say hi to all your neighbors. Like there's barbecues that half the people in town go to, and things like that. And I'm like, yeah. Every time I'm there, there's also sirens. He's like, well, yeah, but we don't talk about that.
Yep, sounds about right. And sorry, I cut you off because we spoke. So last time that we spoke, yeah, I'm pretty sure you came to my neighbor Jackie's house because I was taking care of her cat, and then we like spoke there for like a few minutes to catch up or something. You were telling me that you're in Whistler doing drone shots through for
Yeah.
retail. How's that going, or what happened at the end?
Yeah, I was doing a lot of real estate work for a while. I must say, like, there's some family issues that kind of put a halt to all of my business stuff for a while. My aunt got pretty sick. Um, she's in hospice now, and
Sorry
that
to
kind
hear.
of stopped me from. Thank you. It kind of stopped me from leaving too much to go out Whistler all the time and do things like that. So from there, I just kind of refocused back to my job because I didn't really have the ability to. run off like that and go do those types of things. Um, and now especially I can't even drive anywhere, so if I had a
Okay.
chance.
How are you keeping yourself entertained then? What are you doing? What can you do?
Yeah. So one of the things I've been doing for a while is I've been in the strata management course with UBC Solder. So I've been trying to speed around that. There's not much else, so I'm just like, well,
Sure.
I'll study a lot.
Good.
I
That's your
love
passion?
going.
Is it
I think
one of
one
them?
one thing I learned from working at the dealership was I am somebody who enjoys knowing what he's doing. If I know what I'm doing and there's clear steps, I'm honestly a pretty happy person. And I can get that from a straightforward job like this that has kind of enough income for me. So I was like, why am I still trying to pursue all this real estate, all this videography? Why is this all still what I'm like, in a sense, killing myself over? Because it was stressing me out. I never knew the next step. And every time I'd sit down to work on it, it was undefined. I could work on it for 3 hours or 30 minutes. And either way, I'd feel like I hadn't done enough because I could have done 8 hours. And what am I doing 8 hours on though? If I don't have a client in front of me, am I just making ads? Am I scripting? Am I reaching out to old clients? Like, what am I doing? And where's the money for this all coming from? Because the time I was working at BAC wasn't funding that much expansion realistically. After rent and every other expense that just kind of piles up, gets taken off. So I was at that kind of point where I was like ready to throw my hands up with it, and I think I'm happy with my decision to do that. I got a call a couple weeks ago before my seizure, from somebody in the Lower Mainland who wanted some real estate services done, and it was every hallmark nightmare client issue you could think of that he was spouting, and I was just like, I'm good. Like, I'm done. Because he was offering again like $150, and I was like, I'm not gonna.
Yeah, I'm not down for that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was like, I'd like $150. I'm not doing that for $150.
And how much work? How much you think it would be actually worth?
Sorry, I have to take all calls. I'm getting a call right now. I have to take all of them in case one of them's wrong. Just give
Yeah,
me a
of
sec.
course, of course. No problem.
Fucking hand.
I paused the recording for that, so no worries. It wasn't being recorded. But you got a robocall. I'm a big fan of those. I just fucking flip them off and then that's it.
Yeah, it's really annoying. It's really, really annoying, especially when you have to answer your phone for work. Like, I'm sure you do
Hectic.
as well.
You know what? I'm gonna write down this tech tip so I can make a video about it. Unfortunately, I don't know if you've seen my TikToks, man. I've become a TikToker myself. I guess whatever, man. As long as I can get the word out. This is my like panel of ideas so I can create ideas. This one's a good one for you. You probably know about it. Call control. So you
Yep.
literally go to Kudo or Telus and be like, hey, can you turn this on? Or I think within your settings menu, um, they press 1 to get through to you or any other number. So no robos ever bother you, and I haven't had any since. So recommend it.
Yeah, it's very helpful. It can at the same time be a little bit challenging depending on the job you're working. I mean, like, it's one of those things that I couldn't have turned on at BAC realistically.
All right, all right, of course.
Like, if you're, because I was getting, God, at the time I was getting something like 60 or 70 calls a day. And if
They all got a
each of
price.
those got robo screened, I'm pretty sure somebody would have thrown something at me.
Sure. Okay, understood. So it depends on. I'll make sure I say that in the video. That it depends on your position. Got it. And if you're working for somebody.
Yeah, because some of those things, like, I mean, I also understand that most workplaces, you're not getting 70 calls a day. You're getting 3 or 4, and that's probably fine. But
Sure.
when there's a lot of people that are constantly needing to reach you, it's exhausting.
I don't blame you.
Yeah.
Tell me about what gets you. Are you a morning person or
Yeah, more of, yeah.
like you're okay with 6 a.m. shifts? Five
Yeah.
like
Oh, easy. Yeah, whatever.
yeah, we don't have that in common. Is that a trait? Is that like a preference? I've never been able to. I'm dead all day. But what's that? Where do you think that comes from? Just discipline?
I think to an extent, it's one of the things I've recently, I mentioned that I was like trying to be more active. And I still am. And I think this ties into the sleep thing. But when I started this, it was um, to lose weight. And so I was dieting. Now, to do the diet takes a couple of weeks of just being hungry quite often. And honestly, I decided that it was just worth it because I knew what the long term health benefits would be. And it sucked for 2 weeks. And then it was fine. If I went back to sleeping later, because I used to have a late sleep schedule as well. And if I went back to that, it would probably take 2 weeks of it sucking, and then it'd be fine. And if you go back to a morning schedule, it'll take 2 weeks of it sucking, and then it'll be fine. Is what I've kind of figured out. Is if it's something that you really care about that you need to stick to, like if your job is forcing you to wake up at 5:30 every morning, you'll just kind of get used to it as long as you're not like also pushing your bedtime. As long as you're like, okay, well, if I need to be up by 5:30, I need to be in bed by 10 or 9:30 or whatever. If you're actually sticking to that, you'll do fine, honestly.
Sure.
I
My
found that my body's quite adaptable, and I think most people's are as well.
Sure. My the purpose of that question is what gets you like what motivates you to get up early? Like what's the driving force behind it? I'm trying to understand people's mindset and stuff. So like what drives you to wake up early to get your day started? Is it meditation? Is it the gym? Is it your passion? Is it selling? Is it working at the
I
dealership? Is it doing real estate?
it's a bit of an interesting answer. So I'm not a particularly religious person, but I do pray every night. And every night when I pray, I do it almost as exercise and gratitude. And I talk about everything. I think about everything that went well for me throughout the day, everything that I enjoyed, everything that I loved. And that puts me in a really nice mindset when I'm going to sleep. And then when I wake up, I'm like, okay, well, let's see how many things I can put on that list today. So I wouldn't say it's anything specific because every day is going to be something different, especially in the situation that I'm in right now. Um, some days, if there's absolutely nothing going on, I might just be walking. Sometimes I'll just walk for like, and when I say just walk, I mean I'll walk for like 8 hours. And
Holy
I'll
crap.
be, I'll be tired and I'll be sweaty, but I'll be like, yeah, I got to see this, I got to see this, I got to see this, I got coffee from the Timmy's. Sounds like not a big deal, but the Timmy's is not very close, and I don't have very many ways to transit.
You're
So that
actually
was a 12K walk, and I got my Timmy's.
wow, yeah, it's a long time. You're giving me good advice because it's stuff that I gotta hear. So what I notice is you're focusing on the small stuff and being grateful.
And I wouldn't call it small stuff to me. And I mean, maybe it is,
Details.
maybe it isn't.
Sure.
But if you were to look at a video or if you're to look at a computer, you might think, well, let's say you're building a computer, and that's not necessarily the most important part of your computer, but getting an extra 32 gigs of RAM isn't also a small thing.
Sure. Hmm.
And I think it's really important to remember that, like, throughout your life, everything is kind of like that. I've noticed. Like, if
Hmm.
I am going to bed and I'm thinking about, oh, I didn't go to work today, so I lost out on another paycheck, so I'm going to be more financially stressed next month, which is this is all true. It's unfortunately true because of my circumstance. Or, oh, I wanted to do this, but I couldn't because I didn't have the car, the ability to drive anymore. Or I really wanted to do XYZ, but I couldn't because of XYZ. I'm gonna just feel like shit. And be it a bigger thing or a smaller thing, it'll still kind of make you feel like shit. If you're sitting there thinking, oh well, this happened, that was bad, just figure out what the good things were. Because there is always a good thing. And I mean, I really hold on to those moments as well throughout the day too. Like I if I know I'm having a rough day ahead of me, I'll take the dog and we're gonna go out first thing in the morning. There's a lookout point not far from my house. That's quite beautiful. And we'll go out there at 7 o'clock and we'll just look at the view and then we'll go back up and I'll start off my day from there.
Who taught you this? Did you learn this from somewhere? Is this passed down
No,
through your wholesome parents? How did you figure this out?
I don't know. It's what works for me. I
That's
had I had a really hard time for a really long time with staying on the positive side, and I would get really sucked into really negative thinking from partially myself, partially people around me.
mhm.
And I realized I was like, if there is something that is going on that is negative, I'm only going to focus on it if I can control it in any way. And if I can't control it in any way, there's absolutely no need for me to focus on it. Like,
So, for
I could
example,
be sitting
mhm.
here stressed about the neurologist. Is he going to call me? When's he going to call me? I can't do anything about it. It's the bloody Canadian
Nothing.
healthcare system. Like, here's what I can do. Here's what I can do about it. If I still want to enjoy my life, what do I need to do? What can I do? I like cooking, so I've been cooking more.
Yeah,
Okay, but how do I go grocery shopping? Okay, well, there's a grocery store not far from my house, but there's a cheaper one a little bit further if I want to take the bus. Okay, make sure my Compass card is active. All right, I've done everything I can do. And all right, I'm bored. Do I want to sit here and watch YouTube shorts and let my brain get more stressed and just make things worse?
sure.
Or should I just go and be like, I want to go make a shepherd's pie? Like, I don't know. And even bad news, you try and find like whatever kind of lining you can. Like, one of my friend's parents is in the hospital right now. And obviously, like, I feel really bad for them, and prayers are going out to their family. But at the same time, I'm like, okay, what can I do to help them? Maybe I can do something to help them. Maybe I can't do a lot right now, but what can I do? So I went and I made them a big old shepherd's pie, and I brought that over for dinner so that their dad didn't have to worry about cooking for the night.
Beautiful, beautiful
And
gesture.
that just makes me happy. Like,
Makes sense.
regardless,
I get it.
I'm sure it helped them, but it makes me happy as well. I have something that I can do. It makes me feel more useful.
I believe pretty. I don't know if you know this guy. Probably. Have I talked to you about Tony? If I can point at him properly. Tony Robbins has been my mentor, my guide, my North Star for the past, Jesus, I don't know, man, since I moved here, 2013, and 2013 and a half. So after my dad's stroke, because I also went through a dark period because I don't have brothers, sisters, cousins, grandparents. It was literally just us three. So it was one of those wake up calls that I'm like, what am I going to do with this information that happened? How am I going to get counseling, figure out my mom with her depression, graduate because I can't fucking graduate because I've been through 15 different schools my whole life because we kept moving around places, and go to work, which I've never worked in my life. My first job was White Spot hosting. So how do you figure all this out? And I got into mindset. But later on that I figured out that tech and the tux was my thing, the whole point of what I premise, like I told you that story is because I believe the secret to living is giving, as corny as that is. It just fulfills you spiritually. And there's the two spiritual needs that I learned from him. It's the secret to living is giving, and so giving and being able to provide whatever it is. Beautiful gestures as a shepherd's pie, from that to having a conversation with someone that's going through a really hard time, to giving $5 to somebody who's experiencing homelessness, to apparently apparently you don't call this homeless people anymore, call them experiencing homelessness. I didn't know that. I was told by someone about that. But
Yeah.
there's one more. Anyways, that and then growing as a person are like the two needs that I feel like are the ones that actually help us find fulfillment, to give back and to grow as a person. Because it's, I believe progress equals happiness. I don't think um it's just like
Oh, it's not a
it's the journey.
destination.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. Because then you get the ultimate PC, you get the Ferrari or whatever the hell you want, and then you're like, now what? Your brain, you're
exactly. Yeah.
happy for like 3 days, 3 months. No, I doubt it. 3 weeks maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. That's more
So,
accurate.
what are your thoughts on that? Like, what do you find fulfilling? Because I see, I'm not gonna call them small things because that's not devaluing them, but they're the details in life, the things that people just like we take for granted, right?
Yeah. I find those fulfilling to a large extent, honestly. Like, spending time with friends is something that I personally, like, I really, really enjoy. Conversations like this, like being able to talk openly and honestly, it's something that I've always enjoyed. And um, especially being around like-minded people who want to find solutions, who want to grow or want to accomplish XYZ. Um, that always feels like it fills me up. And I especially have done my best to surround myself with people who are of a similar mindset. So like if I go, like the guy I went on a hike with the other day, he's also an entrepreneur and he's doing his own business and all this other stuff, and we're chatting back and forth and like giving each other bits of advice, and like by the time we're done the hike, I mean, sure, we're tired as hell. My legs still hurt. My
Which hike?
God.
I'm curious.
Elk Mountain.
Sure, I think I've heard of it.
It's out in Chilliwack. It's gorgeous, but it was like 875 meters of elevation and like 12 kilometers or something.
Is that harder than grouse grain?
It depends. I mean, gross grind is definitely less elevation and a lot shorter. Gross grind's like 3K or something. Um,
I don't know that one. Okay.
but it's steep as hell. Gross is just like a straight up elevation. Elk is a lot longer and a lot more elevation, but because it's a lot longer, it's not as steep. And you have to walk down Elk. You don't have to walk down Gross.
Correct. I've never done it. It's on my to-do list. So you're saying
Oh,
you're getting
dude, we should
insightful
go.
conversations with
Yeah,
good.
yeah, because then it's the type of conversation we feel like everyone learns something and everyone has something they can take away from it, especially if you're facing specific problems. There might be specific solutions that come up from them,
Sure.
from those types of conversations. And maybe those solutions aren't for you. Maybe you helped find a solution for your friend, and that's just as good, in my opinion.
I agree, 100%. That's literally the point of the podcast is to talk about vulnerabilities, failures, the hard moments of life everybody talks about. Look at my Ferrari, look at my $8,000 computer, look at my 300 women that follow me everywhere. I'm like, where's the realness, my guy? Like, sure, hedonism is no doubt it's a good time. But
Yeah.
okay, then what? Where's your fulfillment? Unless you're fulfilled with that, and that's the role you came here to play. I believe that life is a school, and that we're all in the big play, and then we die, and then they open up our minds, and then you're like, okay, this is what's actually going on. You guys are all just a meme. This is all just a matrix, as they would say. But who knows? What's the other thing I had to ask you?
The one
Or
thing I wanted to add to that as well is
sure.
I'm sure everyone understands to an extent that it's a lot of fake with those types of things. But as someone who has worked in the auto industry and who has seen credit applications and credit reports come through every day for quite a long time, I can tell you that the people who are buying that nice looking BMW or whatever, half of them are financing it. And that's not a surprise, but the rates they're financing at 18-20%, just because they want to show that they're like that. They want to show that they've got this success. They don't have the success. I guarantee you. They don't
What's
have the success. They have
what's
debt. That's what they have.
what's the it's crazy money decisions. I could never do that unless I had the means for it. But I also wouldn't.
It's never
Uh,
worth. If you have the means for it, then you're going to save up and you're not going to pay 20% interest.
exactly. Yeah, that's what I mean. What's the average credit score? Is people's credit score like
Four to
yeah
five
low?
hundred.
Okay, not bad. Not it's like right in the middle. It's fine, right? That's bad.
300 is about as low as you're going to go.
Okay, never mind then. So shitty.
Like you could be like a 250 to 300 if you like just declared bankruptcy.
Oh, so it's really shitty.
It's really shitty. No, it's really, really shitty. Yeah, most people
Damn.
most people that I dealt with, because we were dealing with subprime auto sales. But if you're going into the prime market, you're going to get more prime clients, obviously, that are up in the more typical ranges. But another thing to note is a credit score simply denotes your ability to pay debt, not your ability to earn or to not be in debt. So you can
Say that again.
have
Say that last part again.
it doesn't denote your ability to earn. It doesn't denote your financial situation. It just tells the bank how good you are at paying money back, which it only gets if you've borrowed a lot of money.
There we go.
So I wouldn't necessarily say a high credit score is something to always be proud of, because I don't think that it always is. Because if you have a perfect credit score, it's because you've borrowed millions and millions from the bank. Now maybe you've used that in a great way and that's perfect for you and you've made a lot of money off of it. Maybe you haven't. You don't know where anyone falls in the scale there. So even a high credit score doesn't necessarily mean high financial aptitude.
It's crazy how much it fluctuates. Like my highest has been like 810, and I'm like, of course you got to pay your bills on time. It makes sense. Why not?
Yeah,
But now that's like at 725 or whatever. And I'm like, it's fine. It's good, I guess.
yeah, it's fine. You're still going to be able to get a loan. It's not a big deal.
But it depends on how big the loan.
Yeah, income is the biggest thing banks look at, but will
Okay.
honestly freak them out more than your credit score. As long as you're over like over the 700s, you're looked at as let's see what his income is.
Interesting. Okay. So it's two things. It's your credit score and income. So it doesn't matter how high your credit score is.
Three,
They take a
three, and
oh.
expenses. So if you have a lease that shows that your rent is 10,000 a month and you're making 12,000 a month, they're not going to like you very much because they're only going to see 2,000 a month of disposable income. And if your income goes down, you're on the hook for this massive lease. So they're going to see that as really high risk still.
How old are you, brother?
21.
What? You're kidding me, man. I thought you were my age. You're
How old are
kidding.
you?
So I met you when you were like 17 or 18?
Yeah, I'm still in high school.
You're right. How old do I look? Because I feel your age. I don't feel my age.
I'm gonna guess 25, 27.
I turned 29 this year. In November, man. Please. I don't want to, man. Please, let me just go back in time. Just let me experience nostalgia for a bit. Let me just go back to 2006 and 7, playing Halo in my aunt's house with my best friend. Just the simple fucking days of just 24 hours. Just let's get at it. Go through the whole Master Chief collection. Nope.
Oh
Once
yeah.
you grow up, you got to pay bills and wake up, and then you see what it's like for society to influence you. One of my biggest failures, what I'm gonna that's it's all correlated in a way, and that's why I think about the past a lot. Is damn, what is it?
So I think about it a lot.
I literally. Yeah, feel free. You don't want to say hi to Jayden? Oh, okay. No, she's shy.
Hello,
You're perfect.
Buppers. Oh,
Hello,
that's my dog.
Buppers.
I thought that was a dog.
He thought you were a
I
dog.
just saw the ponytail. I'm sorry.
She's nervous. She's too shy. I know we're recording, but I'm gonna leave it all in because it's a raw podcast. So, Bobs, what can I do for you? Your laptop is always gonna be in under the TV. It's not here. Go do your thing. She's still working, but she's too shy. She says that you're her favorite client of mine. That's a big dub in my eyes.
And I just accidentally thought she was a dog. 10 out of 10.
I'm leaving that in. I don't
It's
care.
not like a ponytail. It looked like the back of a golden retriever. I was like,
I can't imagine having a golden retriever here. Way too much energy. I have a cat. He's a rescue. I'm happy with cats. Dogs are. I don't have money for dogs. I don't have the attention span for a dog. There's too much going on. But I love them. I'm
does
not
the
saying
co-op
that they
even
suck.
let you?
Yeah, yeah.
Does
I don't
the
know
co-op
about big
even let
dogs
you?
though.
It does.
Yeah.
I know most of them allow cats, but like so co-ops are crazy. Had to learn all their legal structuring for the strata management. I was like, good.
Yeah, you understand
Lord,
it. Yeah,
what the hell?
we're under I think BC
Oh yeah, no,
housing.
it's yeah. The provincial ones are definitely better, but there are private co-ops that are just insanity. They're just straight insanity.
It's crazy how much knowledge you have at 21, and yeah, I remember you blowing me away at 17 as well. So this all comes back to the question I was saying. One of my biggest like traits, weaknesses that I hate with a passion, unless I leave the country and then I put myself in other shoes. So I think it's a double-edged sword. It's comparison's the thief of joy. But when I see kids, and the kids meaning like 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, you're part of the kids of what I'm talking about. Is just like, and they're at hey, I make 50 to 100 grand a month. Well, how does that work? When CEOs in the
Oh, they don't.
50s.
No, they don't.
What do
That's
you
how
mean?
that works. You can doctor a screenshot and post it on Instagram in fucking 20 minutes. These kids don't do that.
You think it's fake
If
news?
maybe it's not. Maybe they are making that gross. Have you ever looked at their net? Maybe that's what they grossed, but businesses take a lot of money to operate. So if that 50-year-old CEO of a Fortune 500 company just took his company's gross profit and said, I made this year, look like a fucking idiot.
I see. I've been proven through a couple friends, and I'm just like mind blown. I'm like, how the fuck do you guys do this? Because I remember being like really sad, and a friend of mine that did really well, e-commerce business, and I'm like, how the fuck does he get to this? And he's humble, he's beautiful, he's tall, he's got everything going for him, and I'm like, what the, and I just. I'm like, but I'm grinding. I'm trying to understand how this works. I actually want to make a difference. I want to do something that's meaningful, impactful, that leaves like a legacy. And whether it's in the tech field or in the coaching business, whenever I have my one-on-one calls and I help people out their struggles or whatever, because that's my background, is like clinical psych. I really that was like my path. I really wanted to get into that because I love the vulnerability talk, the conversations that a lot of people don't have because they showed up the other front, and I'm like, let's talk about the painful things in life instead of the fucking weather or whatever. So I remember having that. I used to call it penis envy. I'm like, man, you have everything and I got nothing. And but how? And even though he like paid me like $3,000 an hour, I was still mad at him. I'm like, Kim, he still makes 100 grand a month. And he proved it to me. And I'm like, but he's a good guy. Like, if they're assholes, then I get it. I'm like, okay, really fuck you. But he's a good guy at the same time. So I'm like, how do you get over the comparison aspect? I know everybody's got their own life to live. It doesn't
Yeah.
really stick with me.
Well, one, I don't have social media at all. I just don't like. It's awful. That does
I
not.
get
It
it.
just doesn't help anything. So that is the starting point, and then the second is back to gratitude. I would rather be grateful for the opportunity to know somebody who's been that successful. I'd rather look at it that way. I'd rather look at it as, wow, that's amazing. If he can do that, imagine what I will be able to do eventually. And if you do know the person, you can ask them questions. My God, aren't you fortunate to be able to have someone in front of you who knows that much? And if they
Good
did
mindset.
just get lucky, then wow, good for them. You don't go around telling lottery winners to go fuck themselves. Like, if it was
Yeah, that's a
luck,
good point.
awesome, man. Good for you. Like, enjoy it.
Do you think you'd be fulfilled if you won the lottery? More? I feel like you're already fulfilled, but I don't know.
Yeah, more or less. I mean, uh, money obviously makes a difference, but studies show that money makes a difference up to about $60,000 a year. And then past that, meh.
Interesting.
Lottery would just be stop stressing realistically and throw that all into like a broad index fund and chill.
Tell me about it. Yeah, that's at least a good point because I have to switch the mindset of this, and I'm blessed that Tony has taught me a lot about investing too. So it's good to like put your money on the side and then wait for it to hopefully grow and beat inflation in 30, 40 years. It's really cool how index funds works in the S&P, and that's another topic. I don't know enough about it. So I don't I have nothing much more to say, but maybe you can fill me in on that.
It's interesting. I mean, I can recommend some good books that I've read. Psychology of Money, if you've never read it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, that one was quite good, and it talks a lot about again goaling at the safety mark more than goaling at anything else.
Sure.
Is like and setting up your own financial goals. What like really taking the time to figure out what works for you.
Sure.
And so I do quite like that one. I also read Random Walk Down Wall Street.
Sounds
A lot of
familiar.
the math goes over your head the first time around, so I had to read a couple chapters twice, but it is also very interesting. And it talks a lot more about some of the more complicated aspects, and then how to properly diversify, and then how to rebalance your portfolio and things like that. And that one's a lot more nuts and bolts. Psychology of Money is a lot more like.
Simple.
Have you read that one?
I know of it. I've heard the podcast. If you know Dyer, the CEO, the UK guy and 10 million subscribers, he interviewed him, and I heard it, and I was like, oh, this is fantastic. Yeah, I definitely a book.
Yeah,
It's on my to do list.
definitely read that book. That is a very, very, very good book to read. And it helps a lot with a lot of that stuff. With like another one that's good for the comparison aspect, the subtle art of not giving a fuck.
Yeah, oh my god, dude, that's my first book. Here, where is it? Everything is Fucked by
Phenomenal.
Mark Manson. I have it. It's literally the first book, and I recommend it to people. In fact, I'm gonna
Yeah,
reread that because it's been like 10 years. But I
yeah,
said the same thing because it helps. It definitely gets you out of your head.
yeah. It does. It's fantastic. And I mean, like I was able to read that in a day as well. So like, it's not a long book. It's not a difficult read.
Do you
Um,
remember like the top three main ideas of it that I can?
I think the top main idea that really stuck with me the most, and that should stick with a lot of people, is not giving a fuck isn't not caring about anything, it's caring about the things you want to care about. And I think that was
Nice.
just like, if I'm going to invest my time and my energy into thinking about something, it damn well better be something useful.
Yeah, yeah. You're
It
right.
better not be some idiot who's messaging you off of TikTok who wants to trade the PC for nuts and bolts or what the fuck it is tomorrow. Um, yeah, whatever. They're idiots. The people who message me off of Marketplace because I've got my bike up for sale right now, um, and I've got it up for sale for a few $1,000s, and they're like, "How does $100 cash sound?"
It's unbelievable. Trolls.
Surely, but why do I give a fuck? I'm just gonna ignore them. Like,
Yeah, of course.
it's not worth getting angry over. What the hell is worth spending
You're
my
right.
energy on?
I agree. Thoughts on manifestation, and like my version of manifestation is this. I'm a big fan of having $10,000 in Timu money. That is the Chinese symbol. I got this for $2 on Timu, and I just stare at it. I'm like, one day you'll turn into reality. We're
Timu
do
money. I love it.
do you believe it? Do you believe in manifestation and like or what? Law
Um,
of attraction?
I believe in the power of goals. Manifestation, maybe. Everyone has things that work for them. If that keeps your mind in the right headspace, then that's awesome and it works for you.
Sure.
I don't think that's something that would work for me, but that doesn't mean that it's not valid or that it's not helpful or that it's not good.
Mhm.
Um, one other thing I did want to mention, if we can backtrack to the subtle argument effect again, was one line in it I think would have been really, really helpful for a lot of people um, that I have seen in the subprime space, especially. Uh, Responsibility is not the same as fault. Those are two separate concepts. Something can be your responsibility, but it does not mean that it is your fault.
Example, can you?
Okay, tomorrow morning you wake up and you hear her crying. Outside the door, someone's left you a baby. Certainly your responsibility not to just close the door and let the thing die.
Sure.
Doesn't
Hmm.
mean it's your fault a baby showed up on your doorstep.
Got it. Okay, there we go.
And there can be 100 different examples of this. Like that's obviously an extreme, but like
Sure.
um taking responsibility for your own actions is also really important. Like it's not my fault that I had a seizure. It is my responsibility to deal with my life afterwards. It's not necessarily your fault. Like if you come into like when I was doing logistics, it wasn't my fault that the driver fucked up XYZ, but it's my responsibility to fix it.
Sure.
And that's the type of thing where I see a lot of the people who were struggling the most who were clients because subprime, um, they would have these, oh, well, my credit's bad because my mom did this or because my dad did this. And I'm like, that very well may be true. I don't know if it's true or not. Some people it may be, some people it isn't.
Sure.
But let's say it's true. It's still on you to fix it.
How do you compare that to diffusion of responsibility?
Sorry, can you elaborate?
I don't even know what I'm saying. Uh, what is this podcast? Diffusion responsibility is when somebody's outside yelling you help, and then you go, "Nah, Jayden will take care of it," and then you go, "Nah, Alex will take it," and then somebody else will take care, and then nobody does anything.
Don't do that.
Yeah, so it has nothing to do with what you're saying. Okay, got it.
Just frankly, I mean, like if someone's yelling help, you go fucking see what's going on. And I mean, I know a lot of people who wouldn't, and I know a lot of times that it's come up as a practical question for me. Like when I used to work as a lot staff and I'm driving around a car and I'm in the middle of my workday and I see an accident on the side of the road with no EMS there yet. Yeah, I'm stopping. I don't
Of
know what
course.
else you want me to do. I'm
Yeah,
getting
yeah.
out of the car and seeing what's going on. Like it's as far as I'm concerned, it's for a lot of people, it's a moral question. For me, I don't even look at it like that. One thing I think everyone should do at some point is take their basic safety, take their basic first aid and safety for CPRC. And once you have that, you have a certain responsibility, just straight up legally. Once you have that certificate, if there is somebody who is injured and there is no one else to help them, you have a responsibility to help. And
But
that was
it's not your fault if something happens.
no, no.
Got it.
Yeah, there's I forget the name of the act, but there's protections legally for that, which is like you're not super well trained and you had their best interests at heart. If they're dead and you break their ribs doing CPR, they can't sue you for it because that is how violent CPR is. You're gonna break their ribs.
Really?
Oh
You have
yeah,
no choice.
no, you're gonna break their ribs. You're for sure if you want them to survive because you have to get through the chest cavity and actually pump the heart. That's what you're doing. And the ribs are
All
very
right.
good at protecting your heart, but you're gonna have to break that protection if you want to keep squeezing blood.
It's crazy how much you know. You're like a master of everything. What is it? What's the jack of all blades, master of none, but better than master of one is the full quote.
Bingo.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's really cool. There's a lot of shit
Yeah,
that I had no idea about. I learned a lot. Thank you, brother.
I'm glad.
Any other topics you had in mind? I got like 5-10 minutes left before my client shows up, and hopefully he doesn't pay me in Pringles. We'll see.
Well, he doesn't pay you in Pringles.
That's my last client, or two clients ago that I posted on TikTok, and it went viral for me. 10,000 views is a lot for me. So
Well, you know, at least you got us back.
I did, yeah. I finally tried them out because I'm like, whatever. And it's like Asian flavor, some sort. It's mystery flavored from like
Mystery. Okay. See, it could be fine.
it's like seaweed with soy sauce. It's not great,
Okay.
but
It's different.
it's something.
It's different.
What was the question? Yeah, if you had anything else to bring up,
Yeah,
curious.
I wanted to see how you've been because I haven't gotten a chance to catch up with you either in quite a while.
Sure. So the summary is, yeah, so I moved out. Finally, been with her for about 7 years. Lovely lady. And then we moved to SFU. SFU, very nice place. She's got the interior design skills, makes things look very nice and clean. No, I keep it clean. She keeps it nice. There we go. I have that Colombian made in me. I have to make sure everything is mint. That's another reason why I wear gloves, because this is a beautiful setup. I don't want to touch it. Um, and then we lived there for about 3 months and a half. We had to break the lease. Hey, the co-op came about. Can we leave? Yeah, go ahead. What? Really? We don't have to give you about the deposit? No, you can keep it. I'm like, holy shit, good guy. We
Yeah.
did complain about the asshole next door way too many times, so I get it. He's also,
Yeah.
it was nice about that, so he gets it. And then got into the co-op, fantastic. Move everything again, but I had to move everything within 20 days because on the 21st, 22nd, I left the Colombia for the first time, as I was saying. Really good to reconnect with the family. I needed that. Holy crap. It's just, man, if you have the means, travel. Get yourself out of your goddamn head and go live life somewhere else for a bit. If you
No.
can. It's one of those things that money is super worth spending for. Not Louis Vuitton belts and whatever. But like traveling and experiencing shit. Seeing things from people's different perspective and just fucking listening and not because a lot of people I did get there's a lot of people that are like we're very close-minded because that's whether it's indoctrinated to religion or it's because yeah I guess the country's Catholic as fuck. um I don't know, man. But here you meet people from all around the world. That's one thing I love about Canada. It's just like you get to experience different cultures at the same time, but in the end of it we all accommodate to we're all reserved. And then when you're in Colombia, it's just like everybody's, well, hi, I don't even know you. You want some soups? Take a seat. Every grandma wants to feed you. I love it. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Very fulfilling. I love the language. Good food, good people. Some people ask me if it's safe or not. Some guy tried to rob me. So I remember being in like, La Ceja. La Ceja means the eyebrow, which means it's like picture it like a Squamish. Sure.
Okay. All right.
We have one of my extended family has like a farm there. I remember being like in the in a public um, little town there. We're taking pictures, reconnecting with family, cool stuff. Then one guy came up to me and he's like, "What did he say? Something like couldn't tell if he's on drugs or something, but he said something like, you're not from here or whatever, man. I gotta put you on TikTok live. You're gonna make me go famous." So he starts like immediately taking his phone out for me to look. There's no TikTok live playing. He's like recording, sort of like recording like a selfie, and then he's like tapping me on the side. But I'm not an idiot. I'm
Yeah.
very aware of myself, and I practice martial arts for this reason. And the martial art is Krav Maga, which is like it's Israeli special forces to teach you how to kill people. That's not my goal. I don't give a fuck. My goal is to empower women so they can get away from men because the number one threat to women is men. The number one threat to men is heart disease. Some people laugh at that joke. Some people take it as you're right. It's true. It's statistically. Um,
Unfortunately.
yep. So I understood what he's trying to do. So I just like put him in a lock with this hand. I'm like, what are you trying to do? I get that you're trying to like scam me with this hand, and you're trying to like, don't. What are you grabbing my hand like that for? I'm like, I don't know what to tell you, dude. This is it's not my thing. I'm good. I'd rather not be touched. It's not too much to ask. If you want a selfie, I guess. I'm nobody, but sure. And he's like, no, it's just I'm trying to don't touch me, please, please. I have like the baseball three strike rule. Like I can only tolerate shit 3 times, but at the third time I just snap out and I didn't hit him or anything. But if I got to the third time, I probably would have done something more just to like no, don't bother me, please. I'm just trying to enjoy my time. I didn't ask
Yeah.
for this. And my mom is like trying to pull me on the side, please, let's go. And I'm like, tell me about it. So like people are pulling me in different directions, but I have this guy trying to scam me. I try to see things from a different point of view and be like, okay, he's just trying to. They're poor and they're trying to get money. I'm like, just ask. It's just there's nothing wrong with asking. Here's $10, which is like 30 to 40,000 pesos in Colombian pesos. Sure, here you go, and call it a day. Not find a way to rip me off that I've never heard of. There's another one that they do is like this: they spit on you, and then you think it's like a bird shitting on you, and then immediately you get a gun to your head. You got to be alone for that. But I've not seen it. I've heard stories about it. It's not common. It just depends where you go. Just like I guess anywhere.
Those are much more coordinated robberies. I had someone try to rob me in Canada, and they just did such a bad job. Like I was
With
standing in the
what?
Timmy's line. I was the
Yeah.
Timmy's line in Queensboro. Some guy comes up and he's trying to put his hand in my pocket.
With
But I
pickpocket?
noticed, yeah, he was just trying to do the pickpocket, but he was not very good at it. So I noticed. I just turned around and I shook his hand before he could get it. I got so good.
That's the Buddhist approach. I love that, man. That's fantastic.
I was like, "How you doing, man?" He's like, okay, I'm good." I'm sure you
um,
are.
I'm glad that you have that in you, my friend. There's more. There's got to be more people like you. There is more people like you. I haven't
Oh,
met them,
there
but
is.
I just feel like there's. I don't know. Social media portrays where it bleeds, it leads. Where when you see things that are clickbait or like shocking, I don't think the people in the media are bad. I just think that's just what they have to do to in order for us to view their content or whatever. Um,
Exactly, yeah.
but
People are all just trying to make their own way, so it's hard to fault them sometimes. There's only so much you can try to hold against everybody.
but that was a beautiful Buddhist approach. To shake someone's hands while they try to pickpocket you, that's pretty funny.
It's hysterical. Way funnier
And
than anything else I could have done.
yeah, yeah, holy shit. And then what happened? Actually, I came back from Colombia. I pinched a nerve playing VR. First time I had VR, and I think that was a cool one. A client paid me in a VR headset, which was pretty good. That was like a
Oh
W.
yeah.
Like one time that I think when you gave me your full Christmas list of stuff, you gave me like the 49-inch ultra wide monitor, a TV, the gaming computer. It was like 50 things. I felt like it was Christmas all over again because I get to try this stuff. I get
Yeah.
to pretend they're mine, and I'm like, oh wow, this is amazing. And then I'm like, I'm over it because I'm not materialistic. And like, okay, let's sell them for Jayden now that I've tested them and I've optimized it to make sure it looks good. But I appreciate that. Really, really fun service that I get to offer. But what was the whole point of that story? Oh, that I came back and VR was one of the things, and I've never experienced a pinched nerve in my life. Holy shit! I was a vegetable frozen for like a month and a half in bed,
Fuck.
and you can't move. Like it's just anything was so goddamn. I don't know. I think it's like the vertebrae, spinal cord, whatever. The one of the disc was pinching one of the not sciatica because it didn't go down my leg, but it's just one of those freezing moments. Like you're frozen for like a 10 out of 10 pain, and then you realize I'm like fuck my life. So due to my OCD, I still have to clean the house. So I'm just like on the floor scrubbing because I can't not clean. I'm trying to vacuum with the other hand. My girlfriend's like, "What the fuck, man? Go back to bed." So she would be. I love Polar Express. It's all intertwined. I call her my Polar Express. I get the bell and choo choo, and she'd come up. Is like, "What do you need?" So I would like grab onto her, and she would take me back to bed, and I would just listen to audiobooks, learn about business, and watch Yu-Gi-Oh. That's it. But my mind is a fucking threadripper, meaning like one of the best processors that you can get. So it's like you got to do things all the time because you only have a certain amount of time and then you die. That's how my brain works.
Yeah.
But I'm bottlenecked by my mouth because I speak Spanish and English, so I have to think about it. Now I speak more English than Spanish, so it's easier. But in the beginning, I was just like, I can't vocalize my words well. So she was my caretaker, which I love her for that. Blessed, fantastic, good to have a nurse on site that cooks for you, clean. I couldn't do shit. It's just you're frozen. And then I finally found a chiropractor that I offered him SEO service for flat insole, like for my flat feet. He thinks it was correlated to that. She did have flat feet because then your ACL, your knees hurt. I mean, your hips are unplayed. Like everything is just unbalanced. So I got those to help. And then he's like, just swim for the next 400 years. Just go swimming. Just become one of those synchronized swimmers. That will help your back relax a little bit. And I've today every Tuesday. So it's one of my rituals that I do. And it's one of those things too. I don't want to do. I never. I don't care about swimming. Now I love it, but it's because my brain before was like, fuck, it's so cold, man. And in the winter, I don't care. It's like my cold plunge without actually doing a cold plunge because fuck that, I'm good. But it's cold
Yeah.
enough to like 5 4 3 2 1, which is a fun book that I recommend people by Mel Robbins, the 5 4 3 2 1 rule, or whatever. And then you just go. You just tell your brain to go in right in the deep end. You just jump. There's no maybe the toe first, then to the
Yeah.
knees. I don't have time for
It's
that.
like a band-aid. Rip it off.
Yeah. and then get at it. And it feels fantastic. Now my back is 95%.
Oh yeah.
Saddening to be frozen for that time, but then when what's the quote? When you go through shitty moments and you're in pain, I think it's like one man only has a wish to get better when what is it like? Do you know what the quote is? Like when you're sick, when you're sick, a man only has one wish and it's to get better. Nothing else matters. Something like that. And it just erased everything. Every complaint that I've ever had, I'm like, please just fix this goddamn back. And I came refurbished from Colombia, so I had this whole new mindset. I'm like, wow, I do have a family. I'm not a lone wolf. It's good to know. And then I came here, hurt my back. I'm like, fuck, okay, whatever. It is what it is. Happy 2020. We did our New Year's resolutions, and I'm like, I'm gonna do this. Start crossing off some stuff. Then my Mr. Tony Robbins had a seminar. I'm like, I'm gonna be there. I showed up on screen, which was pretty cool. He yelled out my name, and I'm like, what the? My mentor. I cried, of course, because he's changed so much of my life. And for people that don't know him, I'm Not Your Guru, Tony Robbins documentary. Just watch that, and then you'll get a point. I don't like to preach, but it's like it really fucking helped me. Might help you out. He's a business guy, mindset guy, relationship guy, health guy, mindset guy. Covers everything. I love it. And the force of nature and of good served a billion meals, or maybe like 20 billion now, throughout his career. He's met everybody across everybody that needs help, everybody that's gone through a hard time. He was there. The only person that he wasn't able to get to was Robin Williams, and then he suffered from achieving so much. And then that's one of my fears in life is like achieve, and then you get all this stuff, and then you're still unfulfilled, and then you hang yourself. Right? The guy had everything. So he tells that story that who here loved Robin Williams? 95% of people raise their hands. Everybody. And then he goes, he was worth $300 million. He had a family that loved him. Everybody loved him. Academy Award for this. And then he hangs himself. So there's a science to achieve. There's a science to achieve, but there's an art to be fulfilled, is what I think. What he says. I don't think it. The science is success leaves clues. You can learn from mentors, learn from the best, compress their decades into days. I'm down for that. It makes more sense for me than school. I'm too stupid for school. It doesn't make sense for me. I'm waking up early is one of the reasons why. But the art of fulfillment is the one that I'm trying to figure out. Okay, I feel like I'm doing a good deal with tech support. I feel like I love talking to people. Yes, I need more gratitude. Yes, I got to complain less. I get it. I feel like I have everything but money. I only have fake Temu money.
Yeah.
Actually, I got it from Wish, but whatever. I don't know if Wish is still around.
Wish money.
Uh, yeah, that's actually a quote that I'm going to use because I have never used Temu. It's from Wish. But you're right. It could be worse because 2/3 of the world lives on $2.50 a day. So, what do we make out of that, right?
Yeah, I spent $2.50 on a coffee this morning. So
imagine that. Good guy, good resource. That's all I'm gonna say. Fast forward, January, March. I had a business partner. So last time we spoke, I was incorporated. No, I still am. Incorporated. I got a mentor to guide me through the business legalities and stuff. Awesome as fuck. Guy from Belgium. We're more eye to eye. Me and my business partner divorced, and I call it a divorce because I didn't know partnering with someone who was a marriage. It's the same thing. It's all in written. I didn't make out with the dude. That's the only difference.
I had assumed as much, but thank you for clarifying.
I'm already married to my Irish lady. Now I had an Irish man as a boyfriend. And I was like, okay, he's going to be my partner. Cool. We're on the same track. And then it goes downhill because he starts asking about paychecks for the company. I'm like, what paychecks? There's no money. We're work by donation. Like, what do you... It's like that, the Pulp Fiction meme from John Travolta looking around. I'm like, tell me about it. I want money too. I would love to pay myself, but we haven't yet. We got to wait a year. I got so into taxes and HR and accounting. I'm like, holy shit, that's how tricky it is to run a business. Shit. There's so much more to it that they don't tell you. They tell you, buy my course, and they'll tell you how to... They don't tell you the intricacies. No, that's up to you to figure that shit out.
Oh yeah, no. Read the textbook. Read the textbook I'm reading. You're gonna want to just jump out a window.
Wow, that complicated. So very overwhelmed, very stressed. But I'm like, no, my partner's there, my mentor's there, got it. He wanted paychecks. He wanted things. Then he got too obsessed with his title. I don't believe in titles. I don't give a fuck. I used to because I had the intimidation thing. Like people if they're like celebrities, I shake. When I met Linus Tech Tips, I'm like, sir, I'm actually shitting inside, and I told him because I'm like I have to tell him so it's not weird, so nobody's weirded. Like I feel like if I just be
Yeah.
vulnerable, people go, oh nice, you're real. I'm like yes, I'm fucking real, and so are you. And I was shaking talking to him, but I told him and we were good. When it comes to people like now CEOs, it depends if they have a following or not. Like if they're random, there's no fear. Back in the day, I used to have that, but my partner became too obsessed with I'm co-founder and stuff, and I'm like, oh, you got ego and pride. Yeah, I'd rather not. So we parted ways, and it didn't end so well, but it is what it is. That's all I'm gonna say because obviously my goal is not to shit talk people, but it is to what I've learned is hey, make sure you know what who you're partnering with. Make sure you're on the right, same fucking parallel road, similar mindset with the same goal. If not, you're gonna have those
Yeah.
complications come through, and I'm like, man, life is already. I don't want to complicate life more, man. I just have one mission, and just to help. Fuck it. There's got to be a way to do this. There's in the beginning. There's no way you're gonna work by donate. There's no who does that. Who, and then you get judged, and then you're called crazy until you become rich, and then you're like, oh wow, you were a genius this whole time. Isn't that
Yeah.
funny?
It's
That's funny.
insanity till it works.
Exactly. Um, Give me 2 seconds because the client just texted me. Um, there we go. But to finish up, that happened. One of my happiest days of my life once we divorced. That's a that's a one of my favorite comedians jokes. He's like, hey, get married, but then get divorced. That's the best part. Well, yeah, I don't know about that. Well, yeah, no. So what happened then? Fast forward, we clients coming through, pretty cool stuff. Then I got to have conversations with like my old clients that I haven't talked to in like years, like the face client, like guys in the millions of followers, and I'm like, just I have a note. What is this? A note notepad sheet on my computer of just advice for content. I'm like, how do you get to 3 million? How do you get to 100,000? How do you get to how? And then they just broke it down to the guys that I've talked to. I'm like, thank you for the advice. I appreciate it. Would love to have you on the podcast to know more about you. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, I know. It's only my parents and Jayden's parents watching. I get it, but I just gotta put content out there. He's like, just fucking do it. Just do it and see if this actually goes anywhere. So now that I've seen some success for TikTok, for me, for anything above 500 views, I'm happy as fuck. The problem is that's how I used to feel for money. Back in the day, I was excited to. I worked at White Spot at $10 an hour. Man, if I could just make $15 an hour. Oh my god, if I can just get to 15. And then you get to 15 because they raised the wages to fight inflation. I made it 15, and I see those paychecks. I'm like, I've never had any money in my life. I have now $500. What am I gonna do with this? And then he's like, well, what if it's 21 about $21 an hour? What if it's 30? And now it's 50. And now it's $5,000 an hour for me to happy. It just never ends. So it comes back to what you say. Your gratitude, the details, appreciate. I still think that putting things in perspective helps out. Like not going that envious route, being like, fuck him, he makes 100 grand a month. Sure. Switch it to, hey, good for you. And then seeing at the other side, it could be worse. We could be in Congo mining $1 a day so we can have iPhones. Because that's unfortunately how it happens, right? Shitty. It's really shitty, but I have a feeling that once we die, it gets better. We get this knowledge released to ourselves in this world of things that we have no idea about. And you can have your near death experience. I've had some experiences that I'm like, man, for sure there's things that once we die. 100%. That's another topic for part 2 of this podcast. If we have one. But I gotta go meet my client because I don't want to wait for him too long. Otherwise, good convo, my friend. You doing well?
Yeah, I'm doing fantastic.
Did you have a good time? Is any questions, any comments, any piece of advice that you could give people? One tip of advice, maybe reading the subtle art to not giving a fuck. That's what I would say.
Not a bad one. If anything, I'd say practice gratitude. If there was one, that would be it.
And at your age, brother, when everybody's thinking about women and fake clothing and all this expensive stuff, good for you, brother. That's very grounded. I love it. Rare to find. So I remember talking to you the first time. I'm like, golden gem. I want to keep him in my life. So I appreciate the friendship.
Thank you.
Thank
You're
you.
fantastic as well. Always nice talking to you.
Likewise, my friend. We'll talk again soon. And yeah, you're in White Rock. So let's go for a hike. Simple as that.
Yeah, for sure. I'm actually planning on doing one this weekend, so let me know.
I think that's possible.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks for your time, brother. Until next time.
Peace out.
Have a good one. Peace.